morning, everyone. Hey, since this is a military operation, after all, we're going to start promptly at 8 o'clock. And so I appreciate as people trickle in, I appreciate everyone being here. Good morning. I'm Captain Miguel Dieguez, the commanding officer of Naval Facilities Engineering Systems Command Southeast. Welcome, and thank you for attending our industry day. What a tremendous turnout. I want to congratulate the Jax Post, first and foremost, for a fantastic event yesterday, and for their partnership and support in making this week a huge success. Had a great time at the social last night. Nothing like esprit de corps, partnership, sea stories, innovation with quality beer in hand. It's amazing what you can solve together. They continue to set the bar. The Jax Post, in my opinion, continues to set the bar extremely high in SAME, and we're proud to be affiliated with them. We have over 700 attendees today, which exceeds our wildest expectations and is indicative of a strong partnership in defense of our nation. So I would be remiss if I didn't do this. NAVFAC and the Navy could not do our mission without your willingness to come through our gates every day and support the warfighter and their families. I have three items today as part of my introduction. First, let me remark on the why we are here, the reason for an uptick in infrastructure and facility investment and urgency. As Jeff Killian pointed out yesterday very eloquently, then our national security strategies and national defense strategies that were released in 2022 clearly laid out our priorities as a nation. Out-compete China and constrain Russia. We are in a decisive decade, married in a dynamic landscape, notably economic turmoil, geopolitical instability, environmental changes, and rapidly advancing technologies. Our national defense strategy's four priorities square in and emphasize the need to strengthen our integrated deterrence and build a resilient joint force and defense ecosystem, including our industry partners. To put it bluntly, we're losing our competitive edge, and China is our pacing challenge. So our Navy must compete on a level not seen in over half a century, and we must rise to the occasion and deliver. Our Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Lisa Franchetti, just this week released her priorities titled America's Warfighting Navy. She identified three key themes: warfighting, warfighter, and foundation. She's laser focused on delivering decisive combat power at sea through a resilient and well-trained Navy team that must be built upon a foundation of well-aligned resources and investments in enablers such as infrastructure that are essential to supporting the fleet's readiness and lethality. This week, she provided remarks at the Surface Navy Association's National Conference in DC. I want to share one excerpt that is extremely relevant to why we're here today. I quote, "We must all exercise strategic discipline and remain committed to the long term, because work done in our shipyards, manufacturing facilities, and bases by the most skilled and talented workers in the world is critical to our foundation of readiness generation and is essential to our nation." Number two, NAVFAC recognized we needed to alter our course in order to more effectively enable fleet readiness and Marine Corps force generation. To meet these ends, NAVFAC released a strategic plan in 2022, and its number one priority remains to accelerate execution performance. We here at NAVFAC Southeast are embracing the mindset that to be successful in delivering infrastructure and services in support of our national defense, we need a strong, collaborative government and industry team that values continuous learning from each other. Venues such as today's are at the very heart and the forefront of our campaign to reinforce this learning mindset and are extremely valuable. Our intent is to learn more about our respective challenges and find innovative solutions that improve performance. In FY23, our volume of business exceeded $2.7 billion with $1.9 billion in new contracts, 40% of that done by our small businesses. This year, we expect to eclipse the $2 billion mark in contract awards, and the upward trend is expected to continue into next year. Tied to the DoD's priority to modernize our strategic deterrence force, facility investments are pouring into what we've dubbed the Strategic Deterrence Corridor, from Charleston, where the nuclear power training unit is, through Kings Bay and our East Coast ballistic missile submarine fleet, down to Cape Canaveral, where the Naval Ordnance Test Unit is that does the R&D for those platforms. You will hear more about the over $3 billion in projected workload later today. You're also going to hear about the more than $1 billion that is planned to be invested in our aviation depot maintenance capabilities in the region, over in Corpus Christi for the Army and right here in Jacksonville for the Navy. Take a look at our workload projections located on our public website under contract opportunities, or use the QR code in your programs. Lastly, we have a fantastic day planned today. Our program was designed to provide overviews of the major infrastructure investment programs that are in planning and design today across the region, as well as more than a dozen specialty topics within contracting, planning, design, and construction, public works, environmental, small business, and CIO. I want to take this opportunity to thank a few folks that have invested a tremendous amount of time and effort to make today a success. Big shout out to my executive officer, Captain Jeremy Adams, and to Mr. Jeff Killian, my business director. This event is 100% a product of their exceptional vision and leadership. My only idea was to say yes when SME wanted to do it together. The rest, they did. I want to thank my executive steering group, all of my senior civilian and military leaders, for their energy and commitment to making this a success. Special shout out to Nicole Wilhelm, Jeff Hamlin, and Viola Witherspoon for their efforts in addressing every tiny detail. It's amazing the amount of details that go into these events. It takes a village to pull this off and someone to hurt the cats. How about a special round of applause for Mr. Ryan Howard, who's been running point on planning this event for a long time. So today, in keeping with our theme, let's communicate, let's engage, let's listen, and let's improve our execution speed. It's now my distinct pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Matt Schwartz, Executive Director and Chief of Staff for the United States Fleet Forces Command. As the most senior and influential civilian leader in the fleet, Mr. Schwartz is responsible for integrating $12 billion in resources to optimize readiness for 122,000 sailors, civilians, and contractors fleet-wide. In addition to his distinguished career in government service, where he spent much of his time bolstering the Navy's capabilities in information warfare, cybersecurity, and command, control, and communication networks, Mr. Schwartz has also served in executive and senior leadership roles in commercial industry. His perspective today will shed some light on the connective tissue between the Navy's strategic priorities and us, the shore enterprise. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Matt Schwartz.